If you've ever been told that art and science can't go together, या तुम्हें अपनी artistic hobbies छोड़नी पड़ेंगी engineering के लिए, sit back, my friend. I may have the perfect story for you. It is the year 2007, and the Imperial College of London has just awarded a PhD in astrophysics to a very special student. His name is Brian, and Brian has taken over 30 years to submit his thesis. This thesis is about radial velocities, space dust, and the Doppler effect.
तो उससे मेरा क्या फायदा?
फायदा है, आगे बताता हूं.
अच्छा.
लेकिन ब्रायन को इस थीसिस को खत्म करने में 30 साल क्यों लग गए? उसने तो 1970 में रिसर्च शुरू कर दी थी. इसलिए नहीं कि वो रिसर्च बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड थी या वो उसमें लगा हुआ था, बट इसलिए क्योंकि उसे म्यूजिक में हिस्ट्री बनानी थी. दिस इज द स्टोरी ऑफ अ सॉन्ग दैट चेंज्ड द वर्ल्ड ऑफ म्यूजिक फॉरएवर. एंड आई गारंटी यू ऑल ऑफ यू हैव जैम्ड टू दिस सॉन्ग बैक इन स्कूल. Guess who made that song? Just before finishing his PhD, Brian decided to drop out of college and join a rock band. The band was getting famous, people were liking the music, and they were all attending their shows. One such show was near Birmingham, in a place called Bingley Hall. And the band, including Brian, did not know that this one show would change everything forever. Birmingham was the home of heavy metal. And they had a very unique rock culture. They used to dance, sing, cheer, clap along to their favorite tracks. And on one such occasion, the band finds themselves being sang back to from the audience. The audience is singing to the band. And so the band stops for a second to listen to the audience. Gaane do, koi baat nahi, let this happen. And what the band realizes is that the audience is singing a song that is not even theirs. The audience is singing the very famous football chant, "You'll Never Walk Alone." And "You'll Never Walk Alone" was written 15 years before this moment by a very different band. On seeing this, the band understood that this was the future of music and performance. People had to be engaged in music by more than just listening to it. The band decided to incorporate this instead of fighting it. They had to somehow make people feel like they were part of the music. They went to bed that night thinking कि हम क्या कर सकते हैं इस बारे में. In bed, Brian has this epiphany. He understood कि इतने packed crowd में लोग खुल के डांस नहीं कर पाते. But वो stomp और clap तो कर सकते हैं. If they could make the whole place stomp and clap at the same time while chanting the same thing, it would make the people part of the music. He loved the idea so much he decided to replace the drums on his next song with stomps and claps. Brian invites his band members to this abandoned church where they used to practice in Wessex and demonstrated his idea. What Brian did was Brian started collecting wooden planks, got everybody to stand with those wooden planks in different lengths in the same place and asked them to stomp and clap. The band members felt like they were in the center of a large stadium with everybody making the beat together. Now the issue was, how do you record it in a way that it sounds like thousands of people are stomping and clapping at the same time? Because reverb, which is a musical effect, just would not do it. This is where Brian's knowledge of studying frequency shifts in the Doppler effect came in handy. Brian recorded individual samples of the stomps and claps and layered them with multiple repeats on varying distances, which were all prime numbers. This was revolutionary back in the day. There was no technology that did that. The sound produced by this sounded exactly like what they wanted it to be. Now, the people listening to the song at home on vinyl, on records, also felt like they were among 1,000 people just jamming to it. With this, Brian May changed the course of rock music forever. The song went on to become a legendary global hit and was considered the anthem of rock. And it was indeed the anthem of rock. It literally said, "We will rock you." ये तो हो गई कथा. अब इस सब से कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग मुद्दे और सवाल निकल के आते हैं. Number 1. In Decamind, a lecture series I did back in January 2021, I spoke about the idea of far transfer. The point is that true creativity occurs when you let your knowledge in one field cross-pollinate with your interest in another. Here, Brian May used his education in physics and mathematics in his music production method. Number 2, given that it seems like the idea that you must only do one thing and the right thing is wrong. We are raised with the idea that either be an engineer or a doctor or a civil servant and only that is the right thing. Instead, what is right is to chase down your curiosities with dedication and devotion. The key quality is not to be right, but to be committed to yourself, to be dedicated in action and devoted to your interests. Eventually, all your silly hobbies begin to talk to each other. Nobody ever does a thing. They do one thing well and allow it to be fertilized by their other interests. Number 3. What is very important here is to understand the nature of an artistic spectacle. We Will Rock You is a spectacle, a song so brilliant that it breaks the mold of ordinary music production and performance and stands out. This is what amateur artists see when they begin to fall in love with creative activities. A guitarist sees Jimi Hendrix, a drummer sees John Bonham, and a filmmaker sees Stanley Kubrick. They see the master that can break the rules and still be brilliant, and they want to be just like them. However, you must remember as artists that it is only possible to perform this brilliance, to break the rules, only once you've mastered them. You've got to earn your right to brilliance.